Yeah, I'll say this. One thing I really enjoyed with this film is seeing different Transformers you knew in the background just doing mundane things.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Redacts Show. I'm your host, Feek, with my co-host, my other host.
Your co-host Day to Day in the building.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to episode 83. We've been consistent now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back to. No, but appreciate everybody for rocking with us still. We really do love the support. Again, we are on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube. Get those likes up. Get those engagements up. We are on Instagram and Twitter at The Redacted Show. X, formerly known as Twitter. And also TikTok as well. Make sure you follow us on all those platforms. The topics of today, there is only one. Because there's a great movie that came out this past weekend.
Yes, sir.
At the time of this recording. Really, this week. It's out right now.
Yeah.
It's just me and Fee saw it early. But we'll get into that. But, yeah. So now this main episode will be about the Transformers 1 movie that just came out yesterday, September 20th. If you were able to see it early at any of the fan events that they were having or that were supporting that day, gave us some little Transformers paraphernalia. I got me this Megatron poster, and I got two. I got this Optimus Prime one. They had 4 of them.
Man, I didn't get the Optimus one. I got all of them except the Optimus one, bro. I was so mad.
Really? Dang, yes. All the posters?
I got all of them except Optimus because I was gonna put all 4 into like one big ass frame. So I think I'm gonna have to scour some eBay or something to find that poster, bro. I need that one, man.
That's funny. No, but yeah, so you could get like 4 posters there with Optimus Prime, Megatron, Elita 1, and Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
And they also had keychains of all 4 respective characters as well, and a copy of the Skybound Transformers Volume 1 for free.
Yeah.
That Fee showed earlier. So, really good. It was pretty good merch from a movie screen, I'll say that. But,
for real.
Yeah, thank I got there earlier so I could put it in my car. But without, getting past all the merchandise stuff, in terms of getting into our non-spoiler review, Fee, what did you like about this movie? How did you like this movie? How was your movie experience like? And everything else.
Yeah, so for me, so for people that don't know or haven't watched Transformers 1, or just curious about what Transformers 1 is about, I'll just do like a quick little overview of it. So Transformer 1 follows Optimus Prime and Megatron, but before they got those titles, so Orion Pax and D16. Yeah, D16. So pretty much it goes over their early days, because they were minors. It goes over their friendship and then ultimately their downfall, breakup as friends. So with that out the way, my movie experience, it was great. I went to the fan event, as Dana said. I saw it in Dolby at AMC. When I tell you that junk was loud, it was hell. Loud. It felt like I was on Cybertron, man. I was in there, and it had the recliner seats too, so I got comfortable.
Me
had
too.
My popcorn, my icy. I was chilling. But I will say, movie experience, it was really good. The fan experience was really good. One big thing I really liked about the movie was just the cinematography. Damn, I can't speak.
I can't speak. The cinematography. V pulled one of my numbers. I'm usually the one that's with their tongue too big, but
yeah, I sound like mushmouth. Yeah, the cinematography, really enjoyed that. It was a lot of scenes that we'll touch on when we actually get to the spoiler review later on. That was really, really nice and cool. I really enjoyed seeing that friendship because outside of maybe a few comics and just lore aspect things, we never really got to see
1 or 2 episodes of the whole animated series, man. Like you were probably about to say we don't see a lot of their life before one became a Prime and the other one became like the leader of the Decepticons. And
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
that lore behind that.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of viewpoints of them actually being friends, interacting with each other, talking. You get a lot more viewpoints of when Orion and Megatron pretty much were trying to change stuff on Cybertron. So you don't get the initial part. You get more so the end of the friendship, more so in a lot of these games, movies, and cartoons that we never got to see. And a lot of things that I like that they added on too was just making Cybertron a living, breathing place. And what I mean by that is you get to see all these Transformers in the background going through their day to day. You get to see other things when they go to a different area in the movie, and you really got to see that the planet was vibrant, breathing, and going through everything. So for me, it was really good. That's like my movie experience. How about you?
I would say pretty much kind of mirroring everything you said, and then mirror experience was good. I was surprised there was not like a huge kind of line to see this movie for real. Maybe because it was on a Wednesday and a certain area I was at, but I don't know about you. Like, were there a lot of people in that theater when you were seeing it, or like when you were going to get your tickets and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It was like a big line. I went early.
Yeah, it was like a decent size. It wasn't like no huge, like packed out line, but it was a decent size. The theater was just about full. I will say one thing that it's been in the back of my mind thinking about is one, this is released during the school year. So that kind of cuts away from a lot of their early screenings just because even though this movie's geared towards adults and kids, it's more than likely gonna be more kids going to it. But since it's like a school days, it's kind of just like that's the balance you kind of take with it. So I feel like if it was released like a summer, like say July, late summer, I think it would have been a lot more packed out, at least for that early fan screening type event. Because it was more so like I think everybody there was grown. It may have been like a few people with their kids, but our whole theater was like our age and older. So
interesting. Yeah, my theater was a lot more. There were a lot more families. It was like a good mix of everybody. And then I got there early because I was worried it was going to be a line and I was not going to be able to get all that stuff. They even still had extras at the end of the movie when it was done. That's how I was able to get the other Megatron poster. But yeah, in terms of that, movie experience was really good. There were certain parts of the movie where like something would happen and then like especially like towards the third act, I feel like people now, since we're starting to get out of that like COVID, I guess, mindset. Because before that, movie experiences were really engaging.
Yeah,
but there were a couple of scenes where like something would happen, and then people would like start slowly clapping, and I guess people just didn't want to be alone. So like there was a scene where something happened, and then everybody just started clapping. I'm like, oh shit! But it wasn't like a Infinity War or like Endgame type when Thor's hand was picked up by Captain America.
Yeah.
And everybody was screaming their fucking head off, or anything like a Spider-Man No Way Home. But I just thought that was pretty funny because I was in another movie where something similar to that happened. And what movie recently came out?
Alien Romulus, Trap.
It was Deadpool Wolverine.
I was gonna say
because there was certain. It was Deadpool Wolverine because there was a scene. I think the scene, most of the scenes were like certain cameos and stuff came out. Like people were kind of barely clapping. It almost was like they were too nervous to show too much. Like they were too nervous to show that they care that much. Well, I'm like, it's okay. Like, go ahead and clap. Like, we gonna clap with you. So I thought that was funny. But in terms of the movie itself, non-spoiler review, I really enjoyed it. Like V said, this is our first time really actually seen the growth of the friendship and then that falling out, even though like there's no real spoiler, like we ultimately know that they're
Yeah.
going to be it's going to lead to what it is now, the status quo, but just seeing that bond that they had and just how it felt off, how they fell out and how hard it hit in that third act was just like,
Yeah.
man, this is pretty tough. Like I was like, wow, that's some shit.
Yeah.
It was a tweet I seen. It was a tweet I seen where the caption was, it was like a picture of them facing off at the end, and the caption was like, "This is a gay couple that broke up and made it everybody's problem."
You know what's crazy about that statement? I seen that tweet too, but one of the I forgot which cast member was it. It was either one of the cast members or one of the like producers, directors. They asked them a question similar to that, and it was like, no, it was Keegan-Michael Key. They asked him something about the friendship of Megatron and Optimus, and he's pretty much said the same thing. He was, oh yes, a falling out between best friends that like did something, but the way he worded it, everyone's like, hey, they're a couple, bro.
I was like, I know it was like people are gonna try to make this like, oh, they really like each other and they was a couple, whatever. Don't get me started on that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, it was like you saw this friendship that they had since they were real young, and you could. I really liked how they took most of the movie to kind of establish that, even though we didn't start from like day one of their friendship. Because the one thing I also liked about this movie was it didn't really overstay its welcome. Like it spent like enough time on certain scenes where you got the gist of their friendship and their dynamic from what I just started from square one. One thing I would have liked to see is just a little more perspective of like Megatron, because it I guess almost kind of seems like he flips a switch just out of nowhere in a sense. Like it's not out of nowhere, but I can kind of see how certain people might think like he just kind of up and
and got mad.
went ape shit. Yeah, he just got angry.
This was I can't talk about in the spoiler free one, so I'll wait. But just remind me. I will say, I agree with you too. I do like the backstory they showed. I will say the only thing that I could have a problem with, and I told you this before, the only thing that I found myself at the very beginning not liking, but as the movie progressed, I was like, okay. I flipped how my mindset was once I actually got into the movie. Is that initial time when we heard on Chris Hemsworth Optimus? I won't lie, that first like trailer. Grant, also that first trailer they released, that has to be viewed as like anti-marketing. That first trailer, because I said it before. I think I said it before when I first seen the trailer, like the very first trailer. That trailer was not good. It did not convey what this movie is about at all.
I have a question. Because it wasn't good, do you think it was good in the sense of it didn't really show what this real movie was about, or do you think it did more harm to the movie?
I think it did more harm because the tone of that trailer was like, I don't even want to say it was kiddie, but it was like,
it was childish.
It was so off. And like, even as me as a Transformer fan, like I was gonna watch it regardless, but seeing that trailer, I said, this is kind of
going in with some caution.
I said this is more kiddie than like any cartoon I watch. This is very different.
This is some like
I'm about to change my
me type shit.
Yeah, I was like, but back to his voice, I will say, like from that trailer and like a few other trailers, I was like, I got to get used to his voice. But when I actually got into the movie, it didn't feel any like it didn't seem bad or anything. And then I liked how in the movie it makes sense that their voices are not gonna be as like battle hardened and they have all this wisdom because they haven't done any like real battles.
Exactly.
So they're fresh off the block. They got down 10, 15, 17 years old, 20 years old, however old they is, early 20s.
Yeah, they're like young men at this point.
Yeah,
they
they're
just
early 20s.
working a decent living in the mines.
Exactly. So I'll say overall, spoiler free, the movie is very good. Very, very good. Josh Cooley, the director, he did his thing.
Would you say this movie is more than meets the eye?
All right, that's the show. We're done today.
I had to say it.
Yeah, it's more than meets the eye. I can't believe you.
Speaking of that, they made like a lot of like Transformer puns and
they did
like lines like that. But
some of them, most of them, I liked. It was like one or two. I said, "All right." But yeah,
oh
Josh Cooley, Christopher Batty, he's over the cinematography. He did his thing.
That movie was animated really well. Like I was kind of nervous again that initial trailer. I was like, I don't know if I would like this, but after walking out of that movie, I'm like, they need to do more of this. Like I could low key watch just a whole animated series of this sort of Transformers in this animation. Yeah. And it just, again, goes to show you can tell a great story through animation. You don't need to spend $180 million on hot garbage. Exactly. I'm talking to you, Acolyte. But
bro, that's not what we're here for. But real quick, I'll just do like my quick rating for the movie, and then we could do yours. But I'll say, off the first watch, 10 out of 10. I have no problem with the movie. 10 out of 10. I personally think it's the best Transformers movie overall. I personally think that, and I've been with Transformers since G1. Some people swear by that G1 movie.
Yeah, I'm like, I think it just depends on how you feel about that original G1 movie. I had to see it again to really get a better graded on it, but
yeah, I'll say the first G1 movie is still great. Like I'm not saying it's not great, but I will say the difference is that first G1 movie felt more so like an extended episode with action than an actual movie, which you can view as now. But at the time, obviously, it felt like a movie. Like when I watched when I was young, I was like, "This is a crazy movie," right? But now, getting a new like viewpoint on it is like, okay, it's still great. It's still, to me, one of the top Transformers movies. But I think this one was able to hit a different itch that no real Transformer movie has been able to hit. And for that, that's why I'm like, it's 10 out of 10. Lowest I would give this is a 9 out of 10. That's the lowest I would go. And that's me being like overly analyzing and like overly trying to find stuff to hate. So I'll say for me, 10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, for me, I had to say, like, first walking out of that movie, to me, I'd had to say like a 9. I'd had to say this is like the best thing they've made since the first Michael Bay Transformers movie, where it had like actual beginning, middle, end, and mixed with great action and fighting, and just Transformers at the center. Well, even at the first movie, Transformers, the actual Autobots and Decepticons weren't like the forefront. The main center was Shia LaBeouf's character, but like that, I think that formula only works for so long, which is why I think after like Dark of the Moon, it just got very tiring. Yeah, because I'm like, now they're kind of getting away from the Transformers. And I'm like, let's fuck this. Even there was even a part, but in the beginning of the movie, before the movie started, they had like a Transformers first look, and Tyree Henry, he was like, I really just enjoyed this movie. Like, no humans in there. Like, humans complicate things, and they do. I'm like, I'm glad he said that, because we just need to get back to these robots this is our first time really spending this much time on the big screen in Cybertron, and it was animated beautifully. It done really well.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say another thing too. The dialogue in this movie was good. Nothing felt forced. Really it felt natural. Cause I will say that's one thing in some of these later on Transformer movies. The dialogue was just like, I was like, all right, bro.
Blocky.
Yeah, I was like, just get on with this shit, bro. Just show me the niggas fighting.
Yeah, that's what it turned into. It was just like, look, man, we gonna have Optimus Prime turn into John Wick, and that's about it.
Yeah,
and wasn't nothing to what it was. There was no other substance in those movies, especially that one where the Dinobots came, and it literally was just him on.
Don't remind me of that movie. All right, don't remind me of that movie. They butchered my favorite character, Grimlock, man. All right. But yeah, for our non-spoiler review, we both really enjoyed the movie. I'll say if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, because the way they're going, the way they ended off this one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Hey, that second one.
Ooh, amazing.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I just need them to get their trailers right, because they gonna make a trailer for some fucking like Peppa Pig type vibe. Whole time it's a Fall of Cybertron level movie.
Mm-hmm. It's a war movie.
Yeah,
with trauma.
It's stakes.
Exactly. But yeah, that is our spoiler-free review. If you're still here, we're about to get into the spoiler review in about 10 seconds. So I'm giving you 10 seconds to leave.
1, 10.
All right, now for the spoiler review. Megatron's evil, so
hey, we been do that. No, but
yeah,
I would say we started kind of diving into each character. I think the one of my biggest takeaways from this movie was the amount of respect I have now for Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Or Orion Pax, now Optimus Prime, but just like how they never really showed him having to work really for anything in any of these projects. He's just kind of there.
Exactly.
Like as this stoic character, we don't really get any lore behind why he is, which is why I appreciated Chris Hemsworth's like take on his character. You know, he's a bit more whimsical and joyful, which makes sense because he doesn't have any responsibility yet. And then he becomes a Prime, and it's like, this is bigger than me. Like,
exactly.
He's got the touch and the power. So
he's got the touch. He's got the power.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that interpretation of it. Even Brian Tyree Henry's Megatron. I feel like there's always, well, before we get over to him, but in terms of how Chris Hemsworth did, I think he paid Optimus Prime like a lot of respect in the sense of like what Peter Cullens left with that character and what he's built with him. Like, I could tell he was not trying to sound like Peter Cullen at all. It was still Chris Hemsworth, because he can play those kind of, I mean, he's done a lot of roles, especially one that comes to mind is Thor, someone that can be serious and can also be jokeful and then still come in at the end of Infinity War and just lay wood on a whole army. But we're not gonna pause that. We're gonna keep going.
We keep going. Yeah. I'll agree with you with what you're saying about Orion Pax and Chris Hemsworth. And I will say I really enjoyed that they touched on different small things with his character. Like in the beginning of the movie, they showed him invade the records storage. And for people that don't know, Orion Pax, in quite a few of the iterations, he's a librarian. So some iterations he's a miner, some he's a librarian, others he's other things. But there's continuity of it is one of the main things is he seeks knowledge, right? About like Cybertron's past. So I kind of like that they showed him in the records, looking through these different files of the history of Cybertron, which pays homage to that librarian aspect of his character. Because that's what he would do. He would look through records and everything. And that's actually how he, in one iteration, it was, I believe in Transformers Prime. And that's that iteration, pretty much him looking through records and history. That's how he ended up meeting Megatron, who was going by the name Megatronus, pretty much, because he was in these gladiator fights, illegal. It was pretty much illegal fights, and he was pretty. Yeah, he was in illegal fights as a gladiator, and he was getting pretty much recognized, and his name started getting out there, and because he was teaching about like unifying ideals, pretty much he was Malcolm X. That's what it came down to. He was like Malcolm X. So I kind of like that they showed that with Orion Pax character. And then I really enjoyed how a lot of times you would see when him and D16 Megatron, when they interacted, Megatron was always protecting him. I kind of like that they showed that aspect of their like friendship. Because there'll be a lot of times where like something may happen or something's about to happen, and Megatron, it's subtle, but he'd shift his body, like where his body is angled, almost like protecting him. Because they showed that later on in the story, when they go to the surface and the Quitazon's ship is scanning, or like even before it started scanning, it was coming in, he kind of shifted behind him almost. Because neither one knew what it was, but he kind of shifted, kind of went back a little bit behind like the rest of them a little bit, where it's almost like he's shielding them because they don't know what's happening. But I'll say I enjoyed that they showed Orion Pax as like young, practically dumb, because that's an aspect, like you said, we never get to see with Optimus. It's always this stoic leader,
all-knowing type leader,
battle hardened leader, and all these memorable quotes, and it's like, how did we get to this man? Mm-hmm. And then I will say they took quite a bit. They took a few things from Transformers Prime too, because they took a soundtrack, I believe, from them as well. But there's also a quote Ratchet says, I believe, in Transformers Prime. If it's not Transformers Prime, I apologize. It may be a different show, but pretty much they say, why is Prime like so quiet or angry? And then the Ratchet just like, he ain't always been like that. He used to be like XYZ, but he just been through so much shit.
He's like, I gotta log in.
He's just tired, man. So I really enjoyed that with how Chris Hemsworth brought that aspect out of that character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just going into D16 and Megatron, how did you like his character arc? Because I really enjoyed it, and I thought Brian Tyree Henry, like, I was not really familiar with your game. I should have known better. He's a great actor.
I wasn't familiar with his game either.
But especially because for both of them, there were certain moments where they kind of like would snap into like the characters of now. Like, there are certain moments where there are some kind of like Peter Cullenisms coming out of Chris Hemsworth, and then there will be sometimes, especially that scene where they meet Starscream and I forgot what
the elite guard. Pretty much it's the Seekers.
The elite guards.
But
the Seekers, when he's giving that speech to them, like going in,
rise up.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, I'm leaning in my seat like, oh, I'm getting chills down my back.
Man, I'll say for D16, Megatron's like he's my top 3 Transformers. So seeing this version of him was refreshing, just like we said with Orion Pax, but I think it's more refreshing because you always kind of knew Megatron had depth. To me, Megatron and Starscream to me are 2 of the Transformers with the most depth. Just because Megatron goes through that Galvatron arc and everything else, and then Starscream just because he's Starscream. But I'll say I really enjoyed how he was so naive. They made him very naive, and I think that's why when he snaps, it hit so much harder for me. Because in his eyes, he just like he was saying, if we just follow the protocol, we didn't have to do none of this shit. We wouldn't. Honestly, he practically was saying, ignorance was bliss.
Very blessed. He's like, give me this fucking blue pill. Like, I'll go back to my day. Now I hate that I know this now because my life was pretty decent before I knew all this shit.
And then you really get to see it because granted, everybody in Iacon City, which is where most of the story takes place, they practically worship Sentinel. They worship Sentinel because he's like the last. He's the last Prime that's still around. And then, so for D16, it's like he idolizes, or pretty much we'll just say that he's a big fan of Megatronus Prime. And it's because to him, Megatronus was like the biggest, strongest Prime. And which I will say is I like that they did that take on Megatronus and not like the Fallen take. Because the Fallen take is cool sometimes, but sometimes it kind of just like, all right, bro, he betrayed the
Prime Zone.
Yeah.
And created this.
Yeah, so I kind of like that they made Megatronus more so just like, they just say he's like the biggest Prime, the strongest, but he's not he's not evil. And I think that hit hard, a little harder, because it doesn't mean that Megatron became evil because of Megatronus. It's because of other aspects he's seen.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'll say I really enjoyed his descent into I call it the descent into madness, even though it's not madness. It's just sort of like just pissed off. And I will say that one scene where I'll say where Brian Tyree snapped was when they met when they went and saw Alpha Trion, right?
Yeah, Alpha Trion.
And he was re-explaining like how Sentinel betrayed them. And then you should see they made it a point to keep showing Megatron's face, or D16's face. They keep showing like him getting like more pissed off or more like confused.
And his eye color was just changing more and more the more he was getting mad, because his eyes were just regular yellow in the movie.
Yeah.
They just started throughout the movie. They started getting more orange and hardened until
and then they get that red at the very end.
That red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I kind of like that point when they showed Alpha Trion explaining everything. He was like, he showed Alpha Trion kill Megatronus, and that's when he kind of really snapped, because he's like, this one person that's alive I idolize in a sense, but then this other person who I'm like the biggest fan of, I got his insignia on my shoulder, like my Michael Jordan. That's his Michael Jordan.
That is Michael Jordan.
His Michael Jordan. Hey, LeBron came and killed Michael Jordan. He was pissed, bro.
He got a whole tattoo on his shoulder of Megatronus.
Yeah.
And I think it really hit even, so I have to kind of jump ahead, but that scene where he gets taken by Sentinel's like Sentinel Prime's gang and all that, and then Sentinel's telling him like, "Oh, you fucked with Megatronus too? So did I. That's why I took his gear, nigga." Like, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
I was like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, you're gonna die today.
Yeah, and then that's the point where you get to really see D16 do that shift from just like, okay, we need to follow protocol, to more so like, fuck the protocol, I can do this shit myself. And he says it too, because he does that in front of Alpha Trion. He's like, bro, I don't want to like tell the world about Sentinel. I want to kill this dude.
Right.
And then I kind of enjoyed that that Alpha Trion didn't inject in there saying like, oh, we shouldn't kill. He was just like, you know what? All y'all are like primes.
Yeah.
I kind of like that he went that neutral route, because you could kind of tell he could sense Megatron was kind of like, I won't say changing bad, but he was kind of like, this guy, he a little crazy.
He's a little crazy.
They need that,
because I'm sure he saw some parallels to obviously his fellow Prime brothers. I'm sure Megatronus was the same way. He's like, this nigga crazy, but I'd rather him be on our side than against us.
Exactly. So I'll say that was great. That was great writing, everything like that. Now let's get to
How did you feel about what character were you gonna say?
I was about to say Bumblebee.
I was about to say him too.
Badassatron.
So, me personally, I think I can see this being some reasons why people don't like it because, and I get why Keegan-Michael Key took this approach on Bumblebee because, like he stated in that Transformers first look, we don't hear a lot about Bumblebee. Like we haven't heard his real voice in terms of live action or other movie mediums since Bumblebee. Because even in the first one, he didn't talk. He spoke through the radio, through that whole pentilogy, that whole movie scene until the first movie. Then he lost his voice, and then outside of other cartoons like the Transformers animated series and then the original G1 Transformers, that's the only time you really hear him talk. And like that Bumblebee and the Michael Bay Transformers resonate with a lot of folks because he was pretty badass. Not gonna lie.
He was a silent assassin.
Silent assassin. And it was still funny. So it's like I get why Keegan-Michael Key came off as annoying because like we were trying to figure out how B was back in the day, especially when he had his voice.
Exactly.
But and I feel like in one of the Michael Bay movies, someone made a comment about like B not being able to talk. He's like, "Oh, you finally got him to shut up," or something. I feel like someone made a comment about him referencing like he used to talk a lot when he did have his voice back on Cybertron. I may be pulling this out of thin air, but I feel like I remember that comment made in one of those movies. But anywho, I think me personally, if you like Keegan-Michael Key's humor, you're going to be okay with Bumblebee. If you don't, you're going to find him very annoying. I liked him, but he did have those Keegan-Michael Key isms. Like, it basically, you know how, like, Seth Rogen don't really even try to voice act. It's just him as blank. Like, This is literally just Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I took it. I was just like, it is what it is. I thought it was funny. Yeah. But I did appreciate when it was time to like get serious and kind of like shut up, so to speak, especially that third act. There was no like MCU-isms like where they just kind of cut the tension and suspense or that moment with a stupid ass joke. Like you kind of sit in there and have to take all that moment that's going on right now. So I think this was humor done well.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think the humor overall in the movie was like, it was the perfect amount where like, if you're older, you can appreciate it. And if you're younger, you really will like it. For Keegan-Michael Key's Bumblebee, I really enjoyed it. When he first showed up and he had the little like furnace mask on and he was just like that was funny when he showed him his friends, which was the robots he put together. That shit was funny to me. And I really enjoyed his character. It reminded me a lot of, like you said, Transformers animated, that Bumblebee, because he's in that one. Bumblebee's always young in whatever iteration, but in Transformers animated, that's where you kind of get to see him young, a little annoying, but he still knows how to fight.
That's the series I kind of grew up on, mainly with Transformers, and then that Bumblebee on top of like the other Michael Bay Bumblebee, of course, but again, like he didn't talk. So,
exactly. Yeah. And then, overall, I think he did very good. That badassatron trope they did throughout like the movie. That shit, I won't lie, I was crying laughing. Like the first time I heard it, I said, "What the fuck?" But then when he brought it up, like near the very end.
When he was talking to you.
Yeah, it was near the very end. He was just like, wait, he was like, I got knife hands. And then he just yelled out like, Badassatron. I said, hey, yo. I burst out laughing. That was really, I really enjoyed his character and the way he interacted with them, because it was a good, this was comedy done right. Like, because you can have a comedic character that's viewed as annoying, but it should be annoying to the characters in the film, right? My viewpoint. It shouldn't be annoying to the viewer.
Yeah, we should not have to suffer with the other characters because of this.
Exactly. So that was a annoying quote unquote character that was done correctly and actually helped push the story more forward, because they wouldn't have done any of this without B. This story would have progressed if they never met B in was it Sublevel 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed his character. And just and then when they first got the T cogs, the transformation cogs, and they were running down that mountain, he was like, what did he say? He was like, transform. He said something when they were all trying to transform. I thought that was funny. And I kind of like that they showed, like, even though you get a T cog, unless you've been using it your whole life, like, you really don't know how to transform. Like, it's going to be a slight adjustment period to transform. It may not be like a full day. It may be like a few minutes, but there is a slight adjustment period. I liked how they showed that.
That's funny. Yeah, me too.
With them.
I also liked, well, before we get into what I was about to say, Alita 1, I really liked Scarlett Johansson's character in this movie. Like you could tell, one thing I like, not even just with her, but a lot of other characters, you could tell they had a lot of fun doing this and like recording their lines and making this movie. And I always really appreciate that when I can see that from an actor or an actress, because it shows in the work that
exactly
it's good, and like they're just kind of not really up there.
And I think that showed. I think that showed with the dialogue too.
Yes,
like you could tell that when they were recording, even if they may not have been in the same room, which sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You could tell that their interactions together was like real, like, and not some just like, oh, I guess we're on the same movie together.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess we cool. And then I'm sure like Scarlett Johansson and Chris Hemsworth already have that kind of connection and dialogue from different projects they've been on, like the Avengers movies and things like that. So they're familiar with each other. But it almost seemed like it was basically Black Widow in the Transformers movie in a sense, with more humor. Especially with the action scenes she had on, like they did a good job to like make sure she was not like she was that badass woman character, and I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? So I really enjoyed her character as well. Even like the pep talk at the end she gave to Orion Pax, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm better than you at everything."
And when she said that, hey, I lost. I said,
Orion Pax, he was like, this is your first time giving a pep talk. Huh? That was funny, but I get it. That's one of those moments where he's like, it's humor done right in a sense. Like, yes, it was funny, but the moment of her trying to uplift Prime in this moment was needed, because his friend is gone. He's losing his friend, both literally and kind of emotionally.
Yeah.
In the sense of like he's turning to the dark side. So it's like, look, man, like we need Orion right now. Like we need this Rahu guy to reel in all the troops. So I really enjoyed that character. Yeah. And then just like the other characters, I didn't really have a big role, but like Starscream, I thought he was pretty funny. So am I tripping, or did Megatron make his voice squeaky like that now when he was choking him? Because before, what is his voice? His voice sounded a little different.
Yeah, he changed. He's when he was beating his ass, it fucked up his voice box. That's why it sounded like that near the end. That's why I had that like And even it had that raspy tone it had in like G1 and some of the older Transformers shows where it's like Megatron. It's like that type shit instead of just a regular voice, because that was Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
Buscemi. Yeah.
Buscemi.
I definitely messed up his name. But yeah, even when I heard him, I said who? I said I know this voice. But yeah, no, I liked his character. Alita 1, like you said, I really enjoyed her character. I liked also too how they emphasized, or they kind of showed that just about everybody respected her, at least the minors and like people she interacted with. Everybody like respected her a lot, right?
Yeah,
because it was like the sense of like Alita 1 was respected. Orion Pax, they knew Orion Pax, but they knew he was a jokester, and people just knew D16 like did everything by the book practically. I liked how they brought that dynamic out with them. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson, she did real good with Alita 1, especially them fights. I will say the fights in this was fluid. The fights were very fluid. It didn't feel like I was squinting to see what was going on or where stuff was at.
Yeah, nothing was dark when they were trying to hide
Oh man.
hide how bad the CG is or lack thereof, or it not being like everything was done very smooth.
Yeah. And then I guess just to round out some of the characters real quick, Lawrence Fishburne's Alpha Trion, I really enjoyed that. His alt mode, that cat Sabretooth, whatever.
Oh yeah.
That shit was hard.
That was crazy. I was like, "Hey, man!" Again, I was like, "I'm familiar with your game now." I was unfamiliar. I was unfamiliar, Fishburne.
When they came down and they said we have to kill the old man. He said, "Oh,
okay,
transform."
Okay,
kill them niggas. I said, yeah, we cook it. Who else?
How do you feel about the Quintessons?
Okay, one, I did not expect them to be in this movie. That was a big shock for me. When they like said the Quintesson War near the beginning, I was like, oh, I know they fought them, but I didn't think they was gonna have them like be in the movie. I thought they were gonna show the like over part, and then they're just looking for the Allspark. Because in my mind, I was like, oh, Sentinel hit it, so they're just looking for the Allspark, and then at the end they're gonna fight Sentinel. Then the Quintessons show up. I said, oh shit. And I kind of liked how they made them semi like robotic organic. I kind of liked how they did that design, because in original G1 they're just like not raindrops, but their shape is like a pear with 4 heads. Like and each head is like Wrath War. I forgot which each head is, but it's like 3-headed or 4-headed. Because they were made by a Prime. Quintessa Prime. And then they went to another planet because they knew how to pretty much make life damn near. And so they made the Quintessons. So yeah, for them I didn't expect them to show up. Now,
yes, buddy.
Shockwave, Soundwave, they only spoke a little bit. They was funny as hell. They was funny. How'd you feel about seeing them?
I enjoyed it because Soundwave is my favorite character in like anything not Michael Bay, because they in the time he was in the Michael Bay movies, like this is not the same. You're ugly, dude. But I enjoyed how they did like Soundwave with them and Shockwave. Shockwave, he just was funny. Like he kind of comes off as like a mad scientist in a sense. So, and just he's kind of whimsical and stuff. And Soundwave is like the obviously monotone auto-tune robot.
Mm-hmm. The only one that sounds like a robot in
in this world full of robots. But I mean, for what we got, I enjoyed them. Like I was not expecting them to have a lot of speaking lines. If anything, the more speaking, like I do not want a movie with Soundwave talking in it the whole time. Like that's like making the book of Boba Fett. Like keep his character as it is. Like stoic. He's only spoken. He only speaks when spoken to, and he gets his shit done. And he's about his business.
Laserbeak eject.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say I guess we can move more into like the like different favorite scenes and everything. So that Iacon 5,000, 10,000, whatever they call that race. When they show,
I'll say this.
Crazy. Yeah, I'll say this. One thing I really enjoyed with this film is seeing different Transformers you knew in the background just doing mundane things.
Yes.
Man, it was times I saw, because I know they showed Jetfire, they showed some other people. I was like, oh shit.
Like, even fucking Jazz. He was the one they rescued and had his leg snapped. I'm like, damn, this dude can just never stay together.
He always get messed up.
He's always getting tore up.
Yeah.
There was even a scene like when they was giving that, when Orion was giving that speech to everybody. They showed Ironhide in there, and I think RC, Wheeljack.
RC. They showed Wheeljack. I think they mentioned Ratchet when they was in the medical bay.
Yeah.
I think they showed Red Alert. It was a whole bunch of people, and then on the because what I was gonna say about the race. On that little leaderboard, they had names too. And then I saw my boy Blur's name at like 3rd or 5th. I said, yeah. So I really enjoyed that. And I think that just added on how much this is a living, breathing place to it.
Yeah. Most definitely, man.
What was one of your like favorite scenes?
Probably that whole third act. I would say like my favorite scene was probably my favorite scene was the scene where Sentinel Prime was like kind of beating on Megatron and all that, but Megatron just like kept getting up and just was like, I'm not like, he was like, I have nothing to, he literally said, I have nothing to lose. So I'm not scared of you no more. So what you gonna do? He was like, if you gonna kill me, then do that then. But you better not miss.
Yeah.
Then you better not let me get free because I'm gonna bust your ass. And he did. So I really like that whole scene. The scene where he had like the Megatronus Decepticon logo welded on his chest.
When he like did it on it, when he fucking
I was like, damn,
that shit was crazy.
Crazy. That is insane. I'm like, I thought it was a kids movie.
Bro. Another scene, Sentinel has some cool scenes just like for the scenery and cinematography. The scene when he was about to kill, spoiler alert, head ass, when he was about to kill Alpha Trion.
Yeah, that was crazy.
When he had the blade on his neck, his face was reflected on the blade. Yeah, and you saw him still talking. I looked at the movie. I said, "This is crazy." that I just think like this film cinematography wise was some of the best like for any animated movie I've seen.
It's up there. We talked about this on the phone. I think it's up there with like Across the Spider-Verse, Mutant Mayhem. Like it is up there for one of them animated movies of the year. I think we'll probably get to this toward the end of our review, but yeah, it's up there with one of the ones in this past
it's one of the
year
ones.
or two.
And I'll say one of the like cleanest scenes in that whole movie was when they showed them first get to the surface, and then they showed Alita 1 like looking at the camera practically, and then they showed the sunrise behind her. I said, God damn.
This make me cry right now.
I said, this whole beautiful. I said, this scenery is beautiful, bro. Like this is one of the most recent films in a minute, maybe since like Batman, probably since Batman, where I'm just like, this scenery, like cinematography in this whole is crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that was crazy. I want to go a little bit into what's his name? Megatron's descent. I know I mentioned it earlier, but just seeing that descent real time was it was beautiful to me, because I texted you when he killed that one random robot when they was about to shoot Orion. He was in his alt mode and shot him with the tank, and then he like transformed and just burst out laughing, and you can kind of see his eye twitching. He was like, ah. I said, nigga, I set up. I said, oh. I said, we're getting into it now. I said, we're in that next act. So that shit was crazy. And then just so how did you feel about the very end? Like that final fight between pretty much, I guess, Megatron and Sentinel. Actually, no, before that. How did you feel with Megatron like fully, I guess, turning into Megatron, like D16 fully turning into Megatron, and then kind of looking at Orion saying like, nah, bro, fuck you.
Man. On one hand, it hurt because I think it hurt because they did a really good job like showing like he really cares for this guy. Mm-hmm. I guess the movie could have did a better job of showing how much, like from the perspective of D16, like how much he really fucks with Orion Pax and Optimus Prime. But like when he dropped him there, I was like, damn, dude, like that whole like third act was just some sad shit right there. Like, dude,
yeah.
Especially when his eyes finally turned red and you could tell he was hurting. He was like, man, like, why the fuck you made me do that shit? Like, it was almost like some menace to society type shit. Like, man, why the hell you make me do this shit, dog? Like, I wasn't even trying to chew you. If you would have just moved out the way, you always hit some shit. And he's like, I'm done. I'm done. The whole reason I'm here right now is because I was with you, and I'm done. I'm done with the bullshit. And he was done. So he dropped him like a bad habit. Yeah, that scene I think was pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. And just like when he finally, because I low-key thought like I was just waiting like, okay, when is he gonna like take out Sentinel Prime? Because they kept trying to block him, whatever, and then we finally took him out. I was like, damn, dude, he's done. And then it's like everyone cheering him on, and it's like you could see B and Alita 1 like, oh shit,
like he's tweaking a little bit.
He's tweaking. That is not my friend I met.
Literally.
So I thought that scene was like pretty powerful, and just like the parallels of them becoming who we now know them to be. Mm-hmm. And I also liked how I feel like this movie was one of the first times we really got to see the Primes for real. Like we saw them in Revenge of the Fallen, but they were just kind of like these totems that just all looked the same. Like when we saw the Primes here, they all seemed different and had their own sort of like different personality to them, not the same dude. And I really like that diversity amongst the Primes, which is what made them special. And then that scene where Optimus Prime finally got the Matrix of leadership, and I was like, he did it. I don't even know why I didn't realize he had that in him, but I'm like, yeah, he's got that. He's got that in him. He's got that dog in him. It made it seem like for them to go through this story arc, it made it. That's why I came out of this movie like having a lot of respect for Prime, because like he sacrificed himself for this, and the Primes recognized that and saw that like he just wasn't handed this because they felt he deserved it or like some sort of privilege, whatever. Like he died for this shit, literally, and they brought him back to life as another Prime.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing else that hit hard too on that ending part was when he did come back and Megatron was like Primus chose you.
Yeah.
Like you can see that disgust because in his mind he just got rid of pretty much a false prime, damn near a false prophet. He got rid of a false prime, and now in his mind he's doing the right thing by tearing down these statues and things of Sentinel. Because if you look at Iacon City, that was Sentinel City. Like Sentinel was the mayor, the president, whatever you want to call him. He had statues.
The mayor, the president, the governor.
Yeah, he was everything. So in Megatron's eyes, he's tearing down all this falseness, and to not actually be recognized by Primus in one, and then for your best friend to be like, nah, don't do it like that too. It's just like, bro, I can see how in his mind he's just like, bro, nobody's in my corner, so fuck all this shit. Like, what else do I gotta do? So I think that was really impactful.
I agree. But I guess finally, like that end credit scene, how did you feel about that? I didn't think they'd have one real. Like I stayed till the end, and then I saw that.
That so okay. So the end credit scene, we know they established the Decepticons, right? But what we have to realize also is the next movie, technically, I don't think they can go straight into a civil war. Solely because they still have to deal with the Quintessons.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, they weren't really a big threat in this movie. So it was like, I could see, the second movie, they're actually fighting the Quintessons.
Yeah.
Quintessons.
So I could see them.
Then,
yeah. So I could see them doing pretty much doing the Quintesson War. So Autobots, Decepticons kind of working together, not working together, but they have a common enemy, but they're going to have probably they're going to have varying opinions on how to do it. They're going to establish, I don't know if it's already in the movie. They didn't really say that other many cities. They're going to establish Kaon, which is like a Decepticon city, damn near. And then I think if they do the Quintesson War, after that, they'll actually get into the Cybertronian Civil War, which is Autobots, Decepticons, which is what we all know of.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that would actually work a little bit more in their favor if they do 3 movies, because if they do the Quintesson War, that gives them a movie, and then Civil War is Fall of Cybertron, and you got that, and then you can end off with Arc, and then that pretty much everybody knows what happens after the Arc, so technically you don't have to do a movie after that.
Right.
So they have options, man. It's just, I don't know, bro. That movie was just it's crazy. Like I was legit at a loss of words when the movie ended, because I know I say it a lot on here, like, oh, I'm a Transformers fan, but nah, bro, this shit means something to me. This shit means something to me, man.
Damn it.
You niggas don't know how good Transformers Armada was. You don't know how good these shows was. Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, it's crazy. I just need everybody to go watch these films, because I need them to make that bread so we can get that second film. And I think people will go once we get like a week or 2 in, it's gonna progress, because the film was 75 million to make, or 70 million. Yeah, it wasn't 80. I know that. And right now its opening was like, I think its opening is gonna be probably like 10 something mil for opening weekend, and that's just domestically, because it hasn't even released in the UK yet. The UK is like 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, so, you're right. 75 million.
Yeah, so worldwide, I think it should reach that 75 slate. I'll say it will. But yeah, 10 out of 10 movie for me, man. I have no problems with anything.
Same
Just, yeah.
I mean, we pretty much talk about the old movie.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think like,
look, I can
what
talk
else?
about some random shit. The script, look, just again, just Josh Cooley, the director, you did good. I have to read off these names because I definitely don't remember them. Eric Pearson, Andrew Bearer, and Gabriel Ferrari. They did the screenplay. They did, look, y'all did y'all thing in that writing room, man, because the screenplay was good. Christopher Batty for the cinematography. I was unfamiliar with your game. And Ryan Tyler, he handled the main music for the movie. He's worked on Age of Ultron, Fast and Furious movies, and some other stuff. But he had the music in there. So
yeah, it was really good. Yep.
Yeah. Go watch it, man. Go watch it.
Go watch it. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and now that we're finished with our review, we're going to get into our next segment, our Like It, Love It, Redacted. Those who are new or unfamiliar, we go through the different headlines of different topics from anime, Marvel, DC, Transformers, all that stuff, and we'll see if we like it, love it, or redact it. So the first
Transformers is the best movie that's released. It's better than one with that guy with some web. Okay, I'm done.
You just wrote the internet. So the first one is X-Men creator Boda Bayo reveals he wrote a draft for the Blade film.
Bro, get this.
Basically, the Raid movie with vampires. I've never seen the Raid.
I don't think I've seen. I feel like I've seen it, but I'll just say I haven't seen the Raid. I feel like.
But how do we feel about this? I guess
I'm tired of him yapping, bro. I'm tired of him yapping, bro. Shut up, bro. I'm tired of him. He trying to stay relevant, bro. Go do your OnlyFans, man.
The picture they chose for this on Twitter is kind of hilarious. It's wild. I'm gonna send it to you. But
bro, I think he's just trying to stay relevant at this point because it's like it has no weight. Like you could say he wrote the next Avengers movie and they didn't go with it, bro. It doesn't matter anymore. You're not signed with them. It's just you talking. It's like, and this is me just saying what the reality is. It's not me talking about him in any way, form. It's just being realistic. You're not signed to them no more, bro. You're not. Like, look. You're not signed to them no more. You're not signed with them no more. They didn't want you anymore, bro. Go on somewhere, redacted, man. He just talking.
Yeah, like redacted. Yeah, I had to agree with that one. Next one, Warner Brothers has canceled plans for a live-action Ben 10 movie. Do we like this, love it, or redact it? Now,
we love it.
Initially, when I first read it, I was upset. I was like, damn, like we couldn't get no live-action Ben 10. But I will have to say I like it in the sense of, I'm glad they just shelved this or scrapped it, canceled plans, then them releasing some bullshit, and then now you've ruined Ben 10 forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I ride for that show. And I've said on this platform numerous times, Ben 10 has changed the trajectory of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But
the way I talk about Transformers is how Dana talks about Ben 10 and Star Wars. Yeah,
Ben 10 is the reason. Again, I've said this numerous times. If it was not for Ben 10, I would not be wearing watches. I swear. I swear to y'all. But I'd say like it, and I mean they can always come back to this and make like another animated movie or series or whatever. But I'll be glad if they just leave it alone because they already did like another rebooted like Ben 10, almost like Teen Titans Go type Ben 10.
Yeah, like I say, didn't they make one where he like short or in that style where they be having the character short? Okay.
Yeah, this was past when I stopped watching Cartoon Network. I'm not gonna say I stopped watching cartoons because I still do, but just I stopped watching that channel, so I don't know what the hell that show was on. But redacted. Next one is a Pixar employee laid off before Inside Out 2 release were not able to qualify for the bonus for working on the film. Laid off employees were asked not to come to the office to pick up belongings, so remaining employees didn't feel awkward. One former employee said, quote, when we were told the day we were laid off that the bonus is only for active employees, I sobbed. End quote. Another pointed out the irony of working on a movie about mental health, only to have their health insurance stripped away. So, I mean, I'm gonna say, do we like this over that? I mean, I hate it for the people. I hate it for the people.
Yeah, I hate it for the people. I don't think this is to be very real. I don't think we can really say like it, love redacted.
Yeah, we can. It's more so
just saying like, I think that shit's
Disney
crazy.
On a bullshit again. This is insane. Yeah. Remember they had a little lawsuit against them because someone didn't someone die? Like one of their former employees.
But this is Pixar though, ain't it?
They're still under Disney.
Oh, they are. I forgot Disney owned everything. No, they had a lawsuit because somebody's spouse passed away somewhere, right? But they had a Disney Plus subscription. I don't know where the person passed away, but they had a Disney Plus subscription, and because of that, in the details, it pretty much says like you can't sue Disney or something crazy. But I don't know all the details. That's why I'm being very like vague with how I'm answering that part. But I do know it was something to do with a Disney Plus subscription, and that's why they like couldn't sue Disney or take legal action or something. But I don't know all the full details because I don't remember it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Something along that line.
Like a little redacted, but
no, you're good.
that really just sucks. I mean,
that's just like
that's insane.
Yeah, that just shows you like with a lot of these, I think bigger companies and entities. At the end of the day, a lot preach like, "Oh, this is a family environment. This is this and that." But at the end of the day, bro, you're a number.
And granted, you're a price.
Yeah,
they're paying to keep
you are budgeted in the year. When that Q1 hits, when the first quarter hits, you are budgeted for that year. When you are outside of that budget, you are gone. So that's just us being. That's me turning on the professional. Professional.
That's HR speak right there.
That's that HR. Man, but it's just crazy to hear.
The next one is Batman will get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame next week. This tweet was made September 16th, so I guess this coming.
I think got it.
Do we like this little redacted? I love it. My question is, I didn't know this was a real. Well, I didn't know this was a real thing. I was like, why is it just now happening? I thought he would have been had one.
Yeah, I personally thought he had one already because when I went out there one time, I know they got Godzilla. I'm pretty sure they got Bugs Bunny. Cause I took a picture with the Godzilla one. And they have a lot more fictional characters, like they have Hollywood stars. So, I mean, I love it. I feel like it's deserved. You're one of the biggest comic book characters ever created. Why not?
Yep. The main trailer for the Blue Lock Season 2 has been released. It is scheduled to release October 5th, and the anime is listed for 14 episodes.
Oh shit, that's like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or
Do
3
we
weeks,
like
something
this,
like that.
love it, or redact it?
I'm gonna say I didn't watch the full trailer. I watched like the first maybe 5 seconds just because I saw it said Blue Lock. I said, "Oh, it's finally back." So I haven't watched the full trailer, so I don't know how it actually looks. But I'm assuming it looks how the last season looks. But I haven't watched the trailer, so I'm assuming the animation is the same or similar. I'll probably watch it right after this episode. But I like it because
you go ahead. I cut you off.
yeah. No, you're good. You're good. I was gonna say I like it because it's like we said last episode. It's been kind of like a low period for anime. Granted, there's a lot of anime that's out right now, but there's only been like a few that's hit my interest. So really, I'm waiting for Blue Lock, Dan to Dan, or however you say it, and maybe like 1 or 2 more, and then I have like 4 animes I need to watch that I finished. So. Granted, there's stuff to watch, but I'm waiting for like stuff that I want to watch.
Yeah, there's stuff out there. It's just I don't want to watch it. But
Yeah.
I love this. Real anime will be back. The trailer animation wise looks really well. And
Okay.
man, I just like if they could just carry that same momentum from that first season.
Boy, that first season, it worked out so well that the World Cup was going on like right near it, right with it. That was one of the best. Bro, that was as a fan of just like sports and anime. That was insane. I was watching World Cup matches. I was watching Blue Lock. I said, I'm playing FIFA.
Yeah.
Boy, I was eating.
It was a great day. It was a great time to be a soccer fan.
For real.
According to anime news on Annie Tsunami, Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic anime and manga IP has been renewed for 10 years by Shogakukan Sushi. I know I butchered the hell out of this. Shueisha Productions. I think Shogakukan Shueisha Productions. Do we like that the Magi Labyrinth and Magic IP is being renewed? Like it, low redacted. I like it because when I saw that Magi series, I literally just watched that on a whim because I was taking a break from One Piece and I wanted something to kind of fill in that void. And I tried Fairy Tail. I was like, no, thank you. Then I tried Magi. And I was like, this shit pretty gas. This shit hard.
No Magi code.
So I'm like, okay, with this, I guess they still have the rights to it for another 10 years since they're renewing the IP. So more Magi projects.
Hey, I like it because that's Magi, Code, Sinbad, the little prequel series. Man. Cole, just give me another anime. Some, give me some. So I'll say
Studio Mappa, Magi, the Lava, or Studio Mappa Sinbad series.
Mappa got enough. Give it to Bones or like
Studio Trigger.
They could.
Studio Maho.
Maho Magi. Hey. Hey. Pat, I know you listening.
He listening. Aubrey Plaza reacts to hashtag Agatha All Along being called the gayest MCU project yet. She says, quote, it better be, because that's what I signed up for. End quote.
That's funny, isn't it?
Oh, do we like, love, or redact this comment by Aubrey Plaza?
I'm gonna say love it. I feel like because I feel like if you're on a show and you see somebody like talking vague mess, like People be like, man, celebrities shouldn't respond or people shouldn't respond. Nah, bro, be like KD, bro. Respond to everybody. Fuck it. I'm on the app too. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I'm giving you attention. I see you. And this is my response. So I love it, man. And I will say, I was a big. I'll be sure. I was a hater on Agatha getting the show. I watched the first 2 episodes. I think it's gonna be straight. I watched the first 2 episodes. I was like, this is entertaining. It's entertaining enough.
Yeah.
And it felt, and I like that it felt contained. That's what I need some of these projects to be. They need to feel contained.
That's cool, because a lot of them are trying to get in all these different lanes. They just need to stick in one lane, which I think is what Agatha all along is doing. I watched the first 2 episodes and I agree with you. Like, it for what it is, which is, it almost is like a Disney Channel type, like Halloween Town type.
And we said
show.
It too, but it
we did say that.
Yeah, I said this. It looks like Halloween Town, but it still feels like that, but it feels different enough where it's not like, oh, why am I watching this? It's like, okay, I'm interested. Because when they started that, I know this ain't an Agatha review, but real quick, when they showed them 5 or 6 ladies walking down that street and tweaking out, I said, shit.
Oh, yeah, the Salem 7.
Yeah. I said, they tweaking.
Yes. Oh, yeah, when that one person went down the steps on some exorcist type shit.
Hey, that boy said we need to leave.
Yeah.
that joke was.
We'll talk about Agatha all along on the next episode, but I love this quote by Aubrey Plaza because, I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, again, like I said, that's what I signed up for. I'm like, if I signed up for the quote gayest MCU project ever, what that mean? I'm here for that. Exactly. I'm here for that.
She should have said, I hope it isn't, and did a money spread. Told them niggas get their money up. Worry about your own self. Fuck,
but next is so the future Transformers. So right now the goal is to focus more on the robot's point of view in the live action films. Mm-hmm. Next live action film will be a crossover with G.I. Joe, and they're planning a sequel. I'm sorry. The next live action film will be a G.I. Joe crossover, and they're planning a sequel for Transformers 1. Instead of them reacting to the human plot, their drive has to be part of the story now. I don't know who said that quote, but that's in the Culture Crave. So, do we like, first of all, do we like the first bullet point where it was like they want to focus more on the robots' point of view? We like that.
I love that because that's what we've been saying since the first Transformers. And the first Transformers had that good balance where it felt like it was 50-50. Where it's like you had some human points, but it was mainly like we're doing the all spark, all this other stuff. So it had more drive. So I love it. The second point is funny because how they say we want to focus on the robots and their drive, and in the same breath they say, granted, we
the next movie is a
G.I. Joe movie,
G.I. Joe crossover. What?
Which is like with that type of movie, I don't expect them to hit that point yet because you have to you don't have to introduce G.I. Joe, but you kind of have to introduce G.I. Joe. To me, this is a G.I. Joe origin-ish movie with Transformers in it. That's how I'm viewing it right now until I see a trailer in a year or 2.
Yeah. It did. Well, before we get to the third one, I'm going to say this right now. They better get Michael Bay to direct that G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. Because to be honest,
I know he been helping produce. Like he helped produce Transformers 1 a little bit. He didn't direct, obviously, but he helped produce some stuff in that movie.
That's good.
He had producer credits, so I think he's gonna always be involved with Transformers stuff from now on, mainly producing. Okay. But my bad to cut you off. You're right about your point.
You're good. Yeah, I'm like, because when I think G.I. Joe, I think just military guerrilla unit doing special ops, and then I see Transformers. They had that action, so I'm trying to see like a Duke and Mega. I'm trying to see some like Godzilla and Kong New Kingdom type shit. Just straight action on a scene. Fuck the human like plot ever. I'm trying to see action and explosions and fight. Like this is probably the one move where I'm like, I really could care less about like a plot that's followable, but I'm really watching for the action. Like I'm watching to see Transformers fight the Cobras and vice versa. I'm trying to see Snake Eyes pop out of a Autobot Prowl motorcycle fighting fucking Starscream from the damn I don't know what.
No, for real. I just need niggas fighting, dying, explosion. This is the one movie, Transformers, where I'm like, I'm the same way. Like the plot don't gotta be something crazy. Just say you found an energon deposit, just like how you did the last movie. They mentioned it anyway. It's an energon deposit on some damn mountain somewhere. It got an artifact there. Just don't make it the Matrix, the Leadership, or the Cube, and you good.
Yeah.
Just make it some random artifacts. Make it a movie original artifact. I don't care.
Yeah. Just make some up for the movie.
Yeah, and add the Autobots, Decepticons, and then Cobra.
And don't have no fucking end scene where the main character is in an ugly ass CGI Transformer costume. I'd better not see that shit again. You think they get Channing Tatum back to play Duke or whatever his name is? Channing Tatum, The Rock.
I was thinking The Rock.
Because he was in one of the G.I. Joe.
He was. I think he was in like the second one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not going to lie. Especially that first one with Marlon Wayans in it.
That was
one of the Wayans brothers. It was pretty dope. And for a like 12 or 14-year-old child that didn't know what the hell they was watching.
I was live, boy.
Live as fuck. But if this G.I. Joe pod is what we say it is, then I love it. I want to see that. I think it's gonna do pretty decent if it's budgeted right. Yeah. And then playing a sequel for Transformers 1, we talked about this already. We love this. Mm-hmm. So next, that is all the Like It Lower Redactus for today. So now we're gonna get into our infamous bag. Drop the music. Yeah, bitch, I'm in my bag, bag, bitch. I just made a bag, bag, bitch. I just made a bag of beef. All right, so our first bag question is keeping the Transformer theme. If you were to transform into any vehicle, what would it be?
If I could transform into any vehicle, that submarine. No, I'm joking.
Come on.
No. I would transform into I would transform into a BMW i8. A 89 Chevy. I think that's the wrong year. Or some type of like jet.
Yeah, for me, it had to be any sort of like jet or flying aircraft. I could transform into a fucking spaceship. I want to transform into a NASA space engine.
Hey, just don't be SpaceX, man. We gonna fall down. You ain't gonna make it up.
No, but I transform into like something that could fly. So like either NASA spaceship or some sort of like fighter jet or helicopter.
Could you imagine being a hoopty?
Ooh, I'd be angry. I'd rather transform into. You remember The second Transformers movie where that woman that was hitting on Shia LaBeouf was the Transformer.
Yeah.
I'd rather transform into that.
Yeah, humanoid. Oh, if you could transform it to any, so if you was like the Predacons or the Maximals, if you could transform any animal, what would it be? Old or prehistoric or no?
Oh, prehistoric?
Or now, anyway.
I'd probably would transform into, if I could transform into an animal. Even though I did say like a flying jet or something that could fly, an animal, I'm literally thinking probably like a gorilla. I'd be Optimus Primal.
I was definitely thinking of T-Rex. For me, I'm definitely, hey bro, T-Rex or just some type of carnivore, big carnivore from dinosaur period. Or even a goddamn, or even like a saber tooth.
Could you imagine could you imagine like a Constructicon type set of units in the Predacons and they transform together and turn into Godzilla?
Fuck. Closest thing they got to that is Tripticon.
Oh, Tripticon.
From you remember from the game Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron, because you fought him as Optimus, one of the bosses. Because Optimus fought Tripticon and Megatron fought Omega Supreme.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was a crazy boss battle
mission. It was.
Well, I was in that sweating, stressed.
As fuck.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's all I can think about right now.
All right. So next, again, our bad question. We'll be doing a 5v5 Transformer draft, sponsored by
Hasbro.
Redacts. Exactly. Sponsored by Hasbro.
Sponsored by the Redacted Show, and we are excluding, obviously, like. Actually, let's not exclude anybody, except for Megatron, Optimus. Okay. And like obviously like the combiners shit like Devastator, Omega Supreme, Tripticon, like regular niggas. So yeah. So right. Dana, you can start off first.
All right, first pick in the 2024 Transformer draft, the DanaCon select Jetfire.
Okay. All right. First pick for the Wafika bots is Lockdown. Got that bounty hunter.
All right, for my second pick, I am going with Soundwave.
Okay.
A first mate.
For my second pick, I'm going Shockwave.
It's a good pick. It is a great pick. For my third pick, I am going with Hot Rod.
Come on. I was about to choose him. Okay. For my third pick, I'm choosing Ironhide.
That's a good one. Fuck. For my fourth pick, I am choosing Cliff Jumper. Just because the name hard.
Oh. For my fourth pick, I'm choosing Grimlock. I was tweaking that. I don't know why I didn't say it would.
Oh my gosh. What's his name? For my fifth and final pick, I am choosing Bulkhead. For my fifth and final pick, I'm choosing Bulkhead.
Okay. Damn. For my fifth and final pick, I know I'm choosing. I'm choosing Cyclonus. I just need somebody that can fly. I didn't have nobody that could fly. So we can read off the teams again. I'll go first. So on my team, I have Lockdown, Shockwave, Ironhide, Grimlock, and Cyclonus.
And for my team, I have Bulkhead, Cliff Jumper, Soundwave, Jetfire,
Hot Rod.
I was like, finally, we're going to get into our final segment, the redacted rule.
Let us know who won.
Please. I did. But we're going to get we're going to get into our redacted rule segment.
Chopped and screwed.
And my redacted rule is do not schedule your haircut in the morning if you just went out last night, the night before, and you went hammered. Don't do that. Give yourself that day of rest.
And my redacted rule is enjoy what you enjoy and enjoy it proud. As long as it's like healthy and not something weird. There is stipulations. If you vote a mayo and
you don't enjoy what you enjoy.
If you like these Voldemorts, all these Voldemorts now in the media that we can't name, don't be like them. Enjoy the little things that you enjoy and be happy about it.
Yeah. But with that being said, this brings us to our ending. We really do appreciate you guys watching and stay until the end. Make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe. Our goal is to get to 50 subscribers by the end of this year. I think it's a doable goal. We're at 19 right now. It is free to subscribe. It is free to follow. It is free to like a video. So if you really enjoy us,
it's free to share.
It's free to share. But just do all those things, and we really do appreciate all the support. But with that being said, it's been your boy Dana Dane.
It's been your boy Wafik.
And we out.
Peace. Play the music. You got the touch. You got the power.
Recipes call me, I'ma show 'em how to shoot. On the 4-5, jump in the ass, my crew. Yeah, I'm step with a fan, keeping all of the hoes on mute. Pull up park, could be yellow with a brew. 48 for a quick burns. Crazy 8s in the back, yeah, the trunk on hot like a cube. 40 on me when I'm in the backseat. Blotter, paper pre-cup. Chris make juice, it'll drop like Chain came with a clean plate, came with a sink. The Parator came with a mate. Tricones white like paint. My hoe by the hoe, cause she know it's my king. Hit on my side, cause I drop a song. Think you should hit up the link. The phenotype came from the pink Colombian thing. Yeah, the genetics unique. See it right on the beat. I'm teaching the hoe like I'm Plato. I got the veggies like by the tomato. You got a basic hoe making Alfredo. I put a bag on the whole